All right, my friend, let's talk. Bitcoin is sitting at 83.5, trying to push past $84,000, and people asking, is this the moment we've been waiting for? Or do we have one more last shakeout before liftoff? We just saw inflation cooling off, interest rates, interest rate cuts creeping back into the conversation, and institutions stacking Bitcoin like they know something that we don't. Oh, and let's not forget about the US government now has its own Bitcoin reserve. Yep, they're holding, not selling. So, what does all this mean for you? Should you be nervous, excited, or just stacking like usual? Let's break it all down in the simplest ways possible. All right, so you probably heard a lot about interest rates and how they affects the market. But let me explain it in a way that actually makes sense. Right now, the Federal Reserve's interest rate is at 4.25 to 4.50%, and inflation just dropped to 2.8% from a 3% last month. Why does that matter? Because when inflation cools, the Federal Reserve start thinking lowering rates, and when rates go down, that's when things get interesting. When borrowing money get cheaper, businesses take out loans to expand, hire more workers, and invest. Investors can borrow money for cheap, which means more cash flowing into the stock market, real estate, and Bitcoin. And when holding cash doesn't earn you much, people start looking for assets that hold value. And you know what asset has a fixed supply, no middleman, and a track record of absorbing new liquidity? Bitcoin. Now traders are betting big on this. The markets now sees a 31.4% chance of a rate cut in June, and is even pricing in 3 cuts by the end of 2025. That means more liquidities could be coming into the market soon. And if history tells us anything, Bitcoin thrives when the money printers turn back on. Now here's something that was once dismissed, but now official US policy. The government is holding Bitcoin. For years, whenever the US government sees Bitcoin, guess what they do? They would auction it off. But now, they're keeping it. They are sitting on 200,000 Bitcoin, worth over $17 billion, and they're not selling. Instead, they set up something called a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Why would they do that? Because they know what's happening. Bitcoin is becoming part of the system. Government, institutions, billionaires, they are quietly positioning themselves while the average person is still wondering if Bitcoin is real or not. Let me put it in another way. If people running the system are holding Bitcoin, what do they know the rest of the world doesn't? Let's do some quick math, my friend. There will only ever be 21 Bitcoin. Over 19.6 million have already been mined. An estimated 4 to 6 million Bitcoins already lost forever. The US government is holding 200,000 BTC. Institutions like BlackRock are scooping up thousands more every day. Do you see where this is going? Bitcoin supply is getting tighter and tighter, and when supply shrink while demand rises, what happens? Price go up. This is why big institutions are quietly stacking while most people hesitate. Now let's talk about where Bitcoin is heading next. Hopefully that last dip to 76,500 was the final one. That's the level Arthur Hayes was talking about. Right now Bitcoin is fighting to break $84,000. If we break through, we could see 86K next. But if we don't, we might get one more shakeout before liftoff. So tell me, do you think we will see one last shakeout before liftoff? Or is Bitcoin ready to break past $84,000 and never looks back? Drop your thoughts in the comment sections. All right, you want prediction? Let's talk about what the big names are saying. Arthur Hayes, the former CEO of BitMEX, says we could still see a drop to $70,000 before things take off. But once that's over, he's calling for $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025. Scaramucci, a former Wall Street insider, is calling for $200,000 Bitcoin. Two different prices, but one clear message: Bitcoin is heading up. All right, my friend, we've seen this before. Every Bitcoin cycle has a moment like this where it's consolidating, people hesitating, the market shakes out weak hands, and then Bitcoin takes off. This moment isn't the top, it's the setup. And this is not financial advice, but I will say this: Bitcoin isn't just an asset anymore. It's becoming part of the system. So when you own some Satoshi, don't forget to hold it tight and stack it right, my friend. Take care.